possibly any sinner is capable of being a great saint. And any saint is also capable of being a great sinner.
This is why prayer is the greatest of all human works and should be the chief concern of every true Christian, of every human being, because everyone is invited to come and become sons and daughters of the one true God by joining themselves to Jesus our Savior. Be catechized, be baptized, receive the Holy Spirit, become all aflame, and establish your humanity by communion with God in prayer.
There's only one attribute of God that is ever raised to the third degree of repetition in Scripture. There's only one characteristic of Almighty God that is communicated in the superlative degree from the mouths of angels, where the Bible doesn't simply say that God is holy, or even that He's holy, holy, but that He is holy, holy, holy. The Bible doesn't say that God is mercy, 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 or love, 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 or justice, 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 or wrath, 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 but that He is holy, holy, holy. This is a dimension of God that consumes His very essence. And when it is manifest to Isaiah, we read that at the sound of the voices of the seraphim, the doorposts, the thresholds of the temple itself shook and began to tremble. Do you hear that? Inanimate, lifeless, unintelligible parts of creation in the presence of the manifestation of the holiness of God had the good sense to be moved. How can we, made in His image, be indifferent?
God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit are of the same essence, one essence, but they are distinct in their personhood. Christ said, I and the Father are one. He who has seen me has seen the Father. They're of the same essence. This is why we make our hands, put our hands in this configuration when we make the sign of the cross. It's an expression of our theology. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, three distinct persons, but of one essence. And these two fingers represent that Christ was fully God and fully man.
Where does He claim to be God? It took me a while, but I began to realize that when I read the New Testament the way it's supposed to be read, from the perspective of those who understand the Old Testament, then Jesus very clearly claims to be God. I didn't want to go to John. Most people said, look at John. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, glory of the only begotten. Look, clearly Jesus is claiming to be God here. Well, number one, no, it's not Jesus talking, that's John talking. But number two, that's the Gospel of John. That's really, really late. I want to look at the beginnings of Christianity. I want to see how, from the very first part of the Christian message, Jesus is proclaimed as God. And so I went to the first Gospel, the Gospel of Mark. And it was precisely there where I read Mark chapter 14, verse 62, which when I understood what that verse was, it blew my mind. Here Jesus claims to be the Son of Man from Daniel. He claims to be the I Am from Exodus. And He claims to be the one sitting at the right hand of the power from Psalms 110, verse 1. Jesus very clearly claims to be God in Mark chapter 14, verse 62, when you understand His context. And so I said, all right, fine. Well, how do we know He died on the cross? Did He actually die on the cross? Because the Quran told me Jesus did not die on the cross. The Quran says in chapter 4, verse 157, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ. We killed Him not, nor did they crucify Him, but so it was made to appear to them. So as a Muslim, I believed what the Quran told me. Jesus did not die on the cross. But Christians think Jesus certainly died on the cross. So this was a good litmus test right here. Which one's true? Which one's false? So I said, I'm going to study Jesus' death on the cross from a historical perspective. I want to see, did he actually die on the cross? And no matter how you look at it, whether you're an atheist, agnostic, Jew, Buddhist, however you look at it, if you're a historian and you're studying the evidence of Jesus' life, you have to conclude that he died on the cross. Every scholar who studies Jesus' life concludes that Jesus died on the cross. In fact, what they say is that if we can know anything about Jesus' life, it's that we know he died on the cross under Pontius Pilate.
And we are live. Probably for like the 6th time tonight, Gabe. But
Yeah.
we've give up on the gaming stream, and we've just decided, you know what, let's do a chill stream. So
Yep.
we'll do a little Q&A if we get any listeners. Because God Logic and Fear This Truth is live. If I would have knew that, I probably would have not bothered streaming tonight. Because we would definitely steal all their viewers, Gabe.
Oh yeah, I know.
For sure.
I feel so bad for God Logic.
Yeah.
I feel like Fearless Truth. He's too new on the scene, so I don't feel bad. No, we're gonna take all their audience. They're all gonna watch us. We're just that cool.
In case anyone can't tell, we are joking. Yeah, we've got Silly watching here. Oh, look, Gabe. Stream Elements actually updated themselves. I'm impressed. I was waiting for them to say Wolf Among Us.
Hey, yeah, look, it does.
I am
It just
impressed.
says chill stream and Q&A.
Well, that's
Nice.
exactly what it is, so I am impressed.
Sweet.
Ah, dear. There's a question for you, Gabe.
A question from me.
Well, it's for both
Guys,
of us, but
are you guys reading any good books right now?
Yeah, my
I've-
answer is no because health reasons. But Gabe, over to you.
I have been trying to find a good like fantasy sci-fi book with a Christian theme to it.
Oh,
And
Christian. All right. No.
yeah, Christian theme to it. So.
I was going to say Book of Mormon, but you know.
Oh yeah. That would be a good sci-fi book, but you know. it's
Well,
just-
that's why whenever you said sci-fi, I was like, yeah, Book of Mormon.
Yep.
But the moment you said Christian, I was like,
yeah. But no, I've been looking around trying to find a good. I'm trying to read more, not just theology stuff and stuff that people are actually interested in. And I've heard mixed thoughts on Dune. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's like Islamic themed. And I'm like, I don't want to watch an Islamic themed movie or read an Islamic themed book.
Doom?
Yeah, that's what people are telling me, is that it's very much based on like Islam's philosophy and worldview.
I honestly can't speak to that because I don't know, but I wouldn't have thought so.
But I might pick it up and read it, so we'll find out.
Sorry. I didn't realize, like, Chopper's here proudly displayed, but I realized he's got a little bit of a glare to him because of the light.
Ah,
Let
yeah,
me
I was
see.
going to say, I have no clue what that is.
This is Chopper from Star Wars.
Hmm.
Let me see.
That's something else I should actually get into, like, reading, is Star Wars. They got a whole bunch of comic books.
Yeah.
I think most of them are free online anymore, too. You just get flashbanged?
Technically, I did it to myself. I was trying to slow down the speed of my light because I changed it from pure white to more of a dim multicolored. It doesn't show up as multicolored, but for some reason it gives off white light, even though it is very literally a multicolored light. I don't know. You can tell if anybody's used to listening to me how I talk now. Like, I'll get on to it in a little bit. I'm not going to tell people what I have, but unfortunately, I got some bad news. It's not the worst news, but my immune system's a little bit damaged at the moment, and as a result, the old brain it's in fogland right now, Gabe.
Well, That's what happens when you start messing with the great prophet of Allah and so on and so forth.
No, that
See?
fries me just for different reasons. We have Tony in the house.
Yep.
Seeley said I just got misreading scripture with Western eyes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a good book. It's something I tell people all the time. The Bible is not a Western, and it's not a modern Western book, and you need to be very careful reading it with a modern Western lens. So, Tony, good to see you, my friend. I would
Howdy,
have
Tony.
figured you would have been long in bed by now, Tony. Um, he's having a wee conversation here with Seeley. Yeah, they're having their own wee conversation. But yeah,
Hmm.
for those who are watching, we currently have a decent wee number, despite God Logic and them being live. I have not been streaming for quite a while. I'm still on with Tim, but for those that know me, I've had a lowered immune system for years due to a lung collapse. Well, technically two lung collapses. Not at the same time, thankfully. That would have been fun.
I don't think it would have
But I
been.
noticed that my health was kind of declining like a number of months ago. Like I was having really bad sleep. I was struggling to I'll not say I was struggling to breathe, but I just constantly felt out of breath, like no matter what I was doing. And like
Hmm.
I'm not the fittest guy in the world, but I am by no means like unfit either. So all that was happening. I noticed that my ability to read books. Leslie's here as well. Good to see you, Leslie. Howdy. So
Howdy.
yeah, I noticed my health was going downhill in a lot of ways, and I'm one of those type of people, Gabe. I don't go to the doctor
Oh, I haven't been to the
unless
doctor
yeah,
since middle, like probably my sophomore year in high
yeah.
school.
Well, I'm one of those people I don't go unless like a limb's hanging off, but it was getting to the stage where like I was barely functioning throughout my day, where I was like, okay,
Hmm.
something's up. Like I need to go see the doctor. So went and saw the doctor. It is immune related. It's nothing uber serious, but it's also not anything to just dismiss either. So yeah, didn't get the greatest of health update. So kind of dealing with that in the meantime, which means my output with content on YouTube has been zero because my brain capacity is very, very, very low at the moment. There we go, Gabe. Someone saying hello to you.
Oh,
Welcome
hi,
to the
Jay.
channel. Yeah.
Howdy.
Celie also says she doesn't go to the doctor unless she's dying. Yeah, I think it's something in all of us. Tony is
Mhm.
currently reading my book. Awesome. You can let me know what you think, Tony. Um, so yeah, you'll hear me stutter a lot. You'll hear me stumble over words because I have a lot of brain fog at the moment, which is fun. But it's even funnier having conversations with people either in person or through audio. Gabe, you were chatting to me earlier, and I'm sure you probably would have picked up on multiple times where I was pausing over the simplest words to be like, "What do you call that again?" So until the meds kick in and I have rested a bit, you're probably going to see more chill streams from me. However, I do have a very good debate coming up very soon, Gabe, with a very very big name. He
Okay.
has agreed to the debate. He has not got back to me with the proposed times yet. It's been a week, so I don't want to bug him because I know he's busy. But we've got a big debate hopefully coming up, so that'll tide people over with content without me having to do anything, and then we will eventually get round to doing our call-in show because I was excited for that, but the health is not way sideways.
Ah,
Um,
Mr. J says he hasn't seen me online in a while. Oh,
yep,
it went away. It's all
there you
right.
go. It's on a timer
Everything.
now, so
Yeah. Yeah, I have not done a lot of live streams or videos in a long while. I'll stick around for a bit. Sweet. Well, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for watching, Jay. But yeah, no, I mean, especially like I was planning on doing a lot more videos and stuff, but as of late, I've just been so busy with just everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing. Like, YouTube's great. It can become a career for people if they can get to a certain stage. The problem is though getting to that stage, and if you've got things going on in your life, it's very very hard. I think a lot of people think, because I know certainly people in my life think YouTube is easy. And they're like, oh, you just go on, grab the mic and talk, and it's like, yeah, those are live streams, and even then, like, you still have to think about a thumbnail. You have to plan the time to go live because, like we're live right now, we're live up against, you know, two pretty big YouTubers, so like we're definitely not going to gain any of
yeah,
their audience. But like whenever it comes to planning videos and making out scripts and stuff, it takes a long time, and then editing takes time as well. So
yep,
YouTube is something I would like to move into full time, but at the moment it's not feasible, nor do I have the time. So,
yeah. I
but
mean, I'll be blunt. I've got zero desire to make YouTube a thing that I do for like a full time thing, right?
mhm.
Like, not there's like zero desire for that. I'd much rather
I don't
stick.
know why you're apologizing. It's your life.
Yeah, I'd much rather stick with I don't know my general career path that I'm on right now. Yeah.
Hey Matthew, welcome.
And we got a lot of comments coming in.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
some of them are just back and forth to each other,
Well, that's
so
good.
that's
Let the
fine.
audience chat away because, like, you and I don't exactly have a lot planned here. It's more just after failed multiple attempts of getting live earlier, we thought we might as well go ahead and do a live stream that we haven't done now. Like, I haven't even checked the channel, but dude, I think our last live stream we did was
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't remember which one.
yeah. Sorry, I just got an email there that completely threw me off. It's telling me I've returned something that I haven't, so I don't know what's
Mm,
went wrong there.
probably a scammer.
No, well, it's from Amazon, so I doubt it.
You never know. A sneaky scammer could have gotten the URL, or not URL, but gotten a heads up that you purchased something, and then we're like, I'll
So
email.
it's returned something I actually want. So like I don't know why.
Hmm. Yeah, it was 1 month ago, I think. Let me check. Yeah, 1 month ago when we last live streamed, so almost
I
4
figured.
weeks.
I figured.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, which, hey, I mean, again, y'all are gonna have to bear with me. I got a life, so tough. But
One and just wait. Yeah, one day
what's
you're
it?
gonna say you've got a dog as well.
A life and a dog?
A
I
life
got
and
a
a dog.
bird.
You
I
do. Wait,
got
you've got
two
a couple of
birds,
birds.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say you've got a couple of birds, but you will
Got
one day have a dog that is snoring in the background, just like I have over here.
hmm Yeah,
Anyway, folks, Gabe and I are planning just on a chill stream, but we did also pop up that this was a Q&A session. So, like, if people have any questions or anything, put them in. And if it's anything complex, Gabe will be answering it tonight because my brain is cooked. I mean, I'll weigh
sounds
in, but
good.
you might get like a sentence or two.
We got our first question of the day. What kind of birds? Well, they're both little parrots. One's a yellow-sided conure, and the other is a sun conure. The sun conure is the loud, annoying one that you'll usually hear in the background.
Eh,
Sometimes Serenity, she's the yellow-sided. Serenity,
I was gonna say I don't find them annoying.
she'll like yip and scream, and oh well, you don't because you don't listen to them from dawn to dusk. you know. But right now they've been pretty quiet so far today, so I won't complain. Oh yeah, the conures are very pretty. I agree. They're very pretty, and they got a lot of personality to them too. Like all day yesterday, I got home from work. I was just cleaning up and just doing a little bit of spring cleaning, And the entire time, Serenity was just running back and forth because she like, with like excitement, wanting me to like get her out of the cage and hang out with her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when I get home from work, it's like 7 something, 8 o'clock. So I'm like, I'm just gonna hit the hay and go to bed. And well, she obviously does not appreciate that. So this time around, she was running around with like a little chicken with her head cut off, wanting me to pick her up and just hang out with her.
You say a little chicken. Does that mean that you've tasted one of them?
No. No.
Gabe used to have 3 parrots.
I did used to have 3 parrots.
You're not
And
doing
then
yourself any favors here, Gabe.
I know I'm not. But no, yeah, I had Serenity and Chaos. But Chaos didn't quite make it, so.
Hmm.
Mhm. But yeah,
So tell us this, Gabe.
I'm listening.
Where is the onion?
Oh, I have no clue. He probably just, I don't know. He's probably currently roasting his bunny right now. You know, trying to have the good little bunny stew or rabbit stew.
True.
I can never tell what the difference between a bunny and a rabbit is. I just consider them the exact same thing.
It is the same thing.
Is it actually?
Well,
I thought
yeah.
bunnies and rabbits were different.
No, because you say a bunny rabbit.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm searching this up real quick. I gotta make sure
Yeah,
I haven't been
because
living in a
a rabbit
delusion this
is
entire
a
time.
rabbit is a bunny. There's a difference between a rabbit and a hare.
But hey, you know what? I'm not the only one who searched this up. I search up are bunnies and space, and then it's rabbits, the same thing. So I'm not the only one, at least. Yes, bunnies and rabbits are the same thing. The term bunny is
told you.
informal. Yeah.
See, even with a cooked brain, my brain still got it. It's like, you see.
You still got it, indeed. Still got it, indeed. Well,
Leslie here.
he's making his rabbit stew. That's what he's doing.
Oh, did he reply to you?
Hares have huge feet. Oh, no. I'm just making the assumption. No. Oh, wait. Look at that. Look. Hey, ding. I got a text from Mr. Enlivian. He has stated that he is currently making rabbit stew. So we know for sure now that he's making rabbit stew.
Is he on Twitch listening?
Possibly.
There is a Twitch viewer.
And then that's likely him, or it's likely the Streamlabs. Or Stream Elements, not Streamlabs.
Could be, although I don't think it shows up as a watcher. Maybe it does, I don't know.
I don't know.
Right, I'm gonna have to try and do this off screen. Sorry, I was too busy trying to see why my parcel got returned. It's telling me that I issued the refund, like asked for a refund. I'm like, no, I didn't. I haven't even received the package. I want the package. AKA, that means the delivery driver has probably damaged it, and therefore it's like, oh yeah, return.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Amazon are so annoying because the thing is, they withhold your refund from you for like
a week.
Yeah, I think it said that something there like I'll get it back in 7 to 10 days, and it's like, really, 7 to 10 days?
Just send me another product.
Yeah, like I tried using the little AI thing there to ask why, but it's not recognizing. It's just like, you've requested a refund. I'm like, no, I did not.
I have not. Yeah, that's one thing that has been driving me insane is the AI chatbots that companies are using. Because and the thing is, I wouldn't mind if it was just, hey, up front, I'm an AI chatbot. But dear goodness, some of these like I've had to call a company. I was getting new auto insurance. I'm not going to say through who, but I was getting it, and I was just filling out an application, and I was just like, it didn't ask me this question, and I feel like that could adjust the price of my policy and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reach out. I'm reaching out, and I'm call or message. I'm like, I'll try the messaging thing. I'm trying to message it, and it's acting like a human being, behaving like a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And I just pick up on these little things. I'm like, either this is someone copying and pasting ChatGPT, or it's just ChatGPT. And I made the assumption it was just ChatGPT and decided to call them. And hey, what do you know? A person picked up. So they had people there, but they
See-
had like, why didn't they just have the person, the agent there, sit down and message me rather than like, I don't know. It was
See, that's
driving me
why
a
I
little
don't,
bit
I don't
nuts.
like Amazon or eBay. They make it incredibly hard to get through to an actual agent. Leslie said that's Rufus, or as I call him, Leslie, that's Doofus. Because every time I have an interaction with him, I want to unplug AI.
Yeah, I would say,
What Bible did you get, Sealy? It's been in ship and limbo.
hmm,
Also, I need to sort Celia out with a book. I asked Zach to send the book, and apparently it never got there.
oh man,
Yeah, to be fair, he's had a lot going on, and I don't want to get down on him, but yeah.
yeah, that's okay. I'll call him about it later. Kidding.
Oh yeah,
I won't harass Zach about that for you,
yeah.
unless you'd like me to, in which I'll call Zach. I don't mind.
Nah, I'll just get it sorted one way or the other. But I've just been so cooked recently. Like I've a Bible that I need to ship out to Kobe as well. Like he won it months ago, and I still haven't shipped it. Like he knows this. Like Kobe and I are good friends, so like it's not like he's randomly waiting. Um, because if it was someone I didn't know, I would definitely have it out quicker. It's just I have been so ill health wise, I just can't face going to the post office because it's just a nightmare. So, um,
Well,
yep, no worries, silly. We'll
I'll
get
also
there one
say
day.
I have to do a lot of repairs to my car. I'm not going into car talk. Don't worry. But you know,
You can go into it all you want. You're just not going to get much reply because I'm not a car guy. So I'll just be like, yeah, yeah,
you're
cool.
right. Yeah, but Zach will all of a sudden pop up into this. You wouldn't have even sent him the link. He'll just pop up and just start
Yeah.
having that hour-long conversation with me.
That's what I mean. But like, you can tell. Like, I'm obviously not going to get into these personal details, but like, you can tell Zach's been going through a lot of stuff because like, I cannot tell you. Like, he popped in one randomly, like maybe about a month ago, but like even before that, Zach hasn't been in streams with us in months
Mm.
on end. So,
He's been going through his stuff, and that's fine.
yep. Oh,
But
we all get that way. That's why I say like I try and do these little streams every now and again just to let people know. Look, you're not subscribed to a dead channel. I am still here. Yoo-hoo, it's Frog Dude. Said, what's
Frog
up,
dude,
SK? Just saw this in my feed. Figured I'd say hello. Good to see you, brother. You're
hello.
most welcome. But yeah, I obviously I wanted to play Wolf Among Us tonight. That failed so badly. Gabe and I spent hours trying to get it to work. It didn't work. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, we could have technically got it working, but the audio would have sounded like you were listening to someone else's phone call, which is not pleasant. But we wanted to come on then and just do a chill stream because, like, I don't want people to think they're subscribed to a dead channel. There will be content coming, Lord willing, but
mm,
I would appreciate prayers for my health. Because I currently feel like a bag of rocks that was dragged through a field of rocks. So I feel rocky.
okay. I mean, I'll be sure to keep you in my prayers, man.
Oh, I know you have, but I just wanted to update the YouTube audience because I did put out, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, I asked for prayer for stuff and I never told people what it was. I'm still not telling people what it was because, like, I kind of want to.
Keep on the down low.
Well, I would rather come to terms with it myself. Like, again, I'm not trying
Ah,
to make it sound like awful, like it's something that I'm going to die off. It's not that.
man,
It's
making it
just,
sound like that.
yeah, I know, milking it.
Yep.
Um, it just wasn't good news, but at the same time, it's news that I can live with. I'm just gonna have to learn how to live with the condition. Is all I will say for now. I
Okay.
will update people in the future, but I just want people to know for now it's not me being lazy or anything, like, because we had planned for March. We were going to do a call-in stream on the 3rd. That
Mm-hmm.
did not happen because, like, my brain is, a Muslim could come up right now and ask me 2 plus 2, and I think I'd probably be like, give me a minute. That's how bad my brain is with fog right now.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
Gabe, what
mean,
about you? Have you had any more in-person encounters with them?
well, not. really like directly. I mean, I've had some indirect stuff, usually more so atheists nowadays. I don't know if I told you this, but a lot of the Muslims have kind of left my workplace. I think
Yeah.
I scared them off. Totally. Definitely scared them off. That's what happened. They just,
Atheists, for me, I'll share the gospel with an atheist, but I will not get involved in a debate with an atheist. I
Mhm.
find them
Annoying.
no, because I find Muslims annoying. Not all Muslims, like
Okay.
the majority of Muslims that once they get on the Dawa script, they're annoying because they just won't come off the script. Like you could honestly, you could corner them with what color is this on the wall and point to it, and if it goes against Islam, they will just refuse to say what color it is on the wall. They'll be like, "Oh well, it could be red for all I know," and it's like, really,
Well, actually, the
atheist,
nature of colors is, it's every other color than what you see on the wall.
exactly.
Yep.
As where with atheists, and again, not all the atheists, but a lot of atheists that you get online, they're just very pretentious, and
Mhm.
it's just like, I don't have time for it because I am not the what's the word?
I have no clue what word you're thinking of.
I know that this is the brain fog. Uh, I am not the.
Arguing type?
Oh no, I definitely am. Trust me, people around me tell me I would argue just for the sake of arguing. Not in a bad way. Like I like debate. I like conversations. I like seeing where people come from. So like I enjoy good, healthy discussions. But with atheists, I just find that when they get pretentious, it just drags a side out of me where I can be very nasty in return. And
Okay.
I would rather not do that. So I just don't debate them. I'll have a conversation and share the gospel. But if an atheist starts to get pretentious, I normally just kick them. People who have seen me interact with Muslims will tell you that, when they go down their line of arguing, I can get a little bit brutal in return. But for whatever reason, not to the same same level I do with atheists. And I don't know why.
Hmm.
I just find them particularly irritating.
For, for me, and I should be a little bit more precise with my language. It's not as atheists I keep running into. It's more so, agnostics who don't really know what they believe. So they're like, "Oh yeah, I believe in God," and then they're saying all their beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously the occasional atheist. Like one of my one of my favorite little conversations I've had, not necessarily recently, but it was with, funny enough, my boss actually.
Hmm.
And my boss is not a Christian, but he outright was like, "Oh yeah, I believe in free will." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. How do you come to that conclusion?" He's like, "Well, I just believe that you make the choices." I'm like, "Yeah, but like, by what standard? If you don't believe God exists, how do you like? We have scientific studies that show that your decisions that you are making are actually made in your head before you actually make them
Hmm.
yourself. So how do you do that?" And then I'm like, obviously it's, he's a random guy working at an auto shop. He doesn't want to, he's not sitting there thinking that deeply about free will and like, destiny, fatalism, determinism. He's not really thinking about any of that stuff. He's just like, yeah, no, I think you're responsible for the choices that you make in this world, and you have to, make those choices. Sometimes difficulty, or sometimes I totally just misspoke there. Sometimes difficult decisions, and sometimes good decisions.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to pop this up again because the timer's gonna run out. But
You're good. I see it. I'm from Ohio. I know I got that very unique Ohioan accent. Mm. But it's like, as a theist, I can look at something. I can say there's something beyond our physical world that I can appeal to for the grounding in free will. But the materialist, which not all atheists are materialists, but most of them tend to be materialists. The materialist tends to, be caught up in this trap where I don't think there's a material way to say that there's a free will. Like, at least from my own reading on it, I just don't think there's a material way to argue for a free will. So that's a fun conversation I've had with my boss, funny enough. And,
I
you know,
think
it's obviously more of a pitch for like theism or, something beyond materialism,
yeah.
more so than it is directly for Christianity. But
I think though, but like whenever you get into conversations with like the layman, not me, like
Mhm.
everyday layman.
Yeah, I'm still listening. I'm just gonna turn off
Oh
the
yeah,
camera so
work
I can
away.
eat my food a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, work away. I think whenever you get into it with them, like we all have presuppositions in our head. The majority of us have not thought through not just what we believe, but why we believe it. So, like a moment ago, you were talking about, you were saying, your boss was. You see, this where the brain fog's coming in. But you basically asked your boss, what epistemological grounds does he have for believing what he believes? But the truth is, the majority of people don't actually know beyond, well, here's what I believe, but they don't know why they believe it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, and that's
Mm.
one of the hardest things to actually do whenever you're having a conversation with someone, because you will hear your everyday atheists. I'm not talking about your internet atheists. Internet atheists are a different breed. They are just they're as I say, they can be very pretentious, which does not bring out the best side of me. But if you talk to just an atheist, like in a coffee shop or whatever, like we all have a friend that's atheist or agnostic or something along those lines. A lot of times, whenever you get into, you know, discussions with them about morality and stuff, they have very concrete beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you go beyond the belief to, but why do you believe that? Like, what grounds do you have to believe that? That's where the
Yeah.
majority of them, and I don't say this rudely, because again, this applies even to a lot of Christians. A lot of people's brains don't go beyond, well, why do I believe that? Like, what ground do I say this is
Mm-hmm.
true or untrue? And like, this is often why I think a lot of people end up speaking past each other. Because if you do have a conversation that's just say, for example, with an agnostic, agnostics can be very hard to talk to, not because they're trying to be sneaky, but they're very fluid in what they actually believe. So midway through a conversation with an agnostic, they could say, oh well, I kind of believe there's a god, or I don't really know what god. Then you can get to a point in the conversation where it's not convenient for them to believe in a god at all, and they can just very quickly go, ah well, I don't actually believe in a god. That's the part I hate, because agnosticism, it doesn't give them a get out, but unfortunately a lot of them treat their agnosticism as if it gives them a get out of jail free card,
Yeah.
because they'll very quickly just flip flop back and forth between positions, between, well, I believe but I don't really know what god, to straight up, well, I don't believe in a god at all. And it's like, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sadly I've seen a lot of that too, where I've interacted with a lot of atheists or even Muslims, yeah, where they have these preconceived notions and you just cannot get them out of it. Right. And
Oh
they will move around and they will bend around and they will do whatever. Like the agnostic, they're like, I think it's a matter of understanding their baseline belief or their actual, like what they actually believe. Because you can say you believe something, but if you aren't actually believe that thing, then you don't actually believe it, even if you say you believe it. So when the agnostic goes, oh yeah, I believe God exists, they might just mean on like some superficial level, they don't see a reason not to believe in God.
hmm
Because it's pretty like it's pretty difficult to say that God doesn't exist on like an actual rational basis. It's pretty difficult to say that.
yep.
And so but when push comes to shove, they don't really believe in anything. So because they don't really believe in anything and they don't have like any actual solid foundation, they'll just move around on you no matter what. Now you have a slightly different thing with like Muslims, for example. Like a Muslim, for example, they will tell you And you know where I'm going with this. They will tell you. They will point at you'll watch Chris Hansen to Catch a Predator, and they'll point at them and they'll be like, "Yeah, that dirty guy was going after that like 16-year-old girl. How could he? He's like 30 going after this 16-year-old. He's a nasty PDF file, predatory, alien versus predator type stuff here." They will go fully out on that for you, and then you go, "Oh, really? Well, shall we bring up the hadith?" No. But this says narrated by Aisha. I was 6 years old when the prophet married me, and 9 years old when he consummated the marriage. What do you think about that?
Well, that's what I was going to say though. But have you noticed recently, especially online, how many? This is where Takia comes into play.
Mhm.
They can't do it completely because they actually get told off for this. Like Jack recently got I forget what the word was. Basically, he got told off by the Ummah, the Islamic community, where they basically said he committed shirk, so he had to retake his shahada, which is just stupid. But anyway, I've noticed even on a lot of lives recently, there's a lot of people coming up who are Sunni Muslims who are starting to throw those hadith under the bus just for the sake of argument. It's like, well, there's other hadith that say, Aisha was a woman, and
There's Muslims that'll literally tell you that there's. I'm sure you know what I'm about to reference. That there is only like a few thousand hadith. Do you know what I'm referencing?
sorry, I was reading Froggood's comments. Say that.
Oh no, you're good. Sneeko basically was having a debate with a guy and was like, "Oh yeah, no, there's only like you said you've read 15,000 hadith. Well, there's only like 2,000 of them." I'm like,
There's
"What do you mean there's only 2,000 of them?"
Yeah,
There's like
15,000.
I'm like, there's like 7 to 10,000 per collection. Like, what are you talking about?
Bakari alone's well over 7,000.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
goes to show you Sneak. Like everybody knows this anyway, but like Sneeko knows nothing about any religion. Like he claimed to be a Christian that left Christianity for Islam.
Because the
And then
Council of
whenever he was
Nicaea.
tested on his knowledge of Christianity, Sneeko couldn't articulate the faith one iota. He wasn't a Christian. Same thing with him being a Muslim. He can't actually articulate his own faith very well. All he knows is the same Islamic phrase that people, I laugh because there's a guy I watch every morning called Bear the Image. He's an Orthodox guy. And he does a call-in show live every day. And he has... Dude, I can't tell you. It's like the same amount of people that call in every day, but all you ever hear out of them is one God, we believe one God. And it's like, yeah, well done. Well done. There's plenty of religions that believe in one God. What does one God matter if you cannot articulate who that one God is? So, Sneeko is just, yeah, he's the bottom of the barrel of someone you would actually want to debate.
Yeah. Mr.
Question.
Frog Dude has a
Are
question.
the books of the Apocrypha the inspired word of God? Why or why not? Are they something else?
As far from my vantage point, I wouldn't say that they were necessarily like inspired, but I don't really have like a good argument against them being. I don't have like good arguments in regards to the Apocrypha. There is a historical record of them being viewed differently than the actual like 66 books that we generally
They're called the second canon for a reason, the Deuterocanon.
So
Here's the truth that will upset a lot of evangelical people. The church fathers referred to them as the word of God, but not in the way that we understand the word of God, because the truth is, like, the church fathers use language at times that often gets abused. So there's a reason why they've been called the Deuterocanon for years. Here's my view on them. They are not part of the canon of scripture, but they are useful for, yeah, Leslie just said it, historical but not canonical. They are useful for history. And I think every Protestant should know the Deuterocanon. I think they should read the Deuterocanon because it gives you insight into a lot of Old Testament books as well as New Testament books, but more importantly, it also gives you valuable historical information. I think a lot of Protestants just, if anything sounds remotely Roman Catholic at all, they're just like, oh, it's evil, run. That's not my understanding of it. I would say read the Deuterocanonicals. I'm going to be having a conversation very shortly with a friend of mine called Orthodox Philip. So he obviously believes that they are the Word of God. So that's a question that we can get into then. So if you're about for that, Frog Dude, you can either come live or you can check it out afterwards. But yeah, obviously a Protestant's not going to view them as being part of the canon, but if you can get a Bible that contains them, I think you should. I have one. Actually, I have two. So
And if you don't have a Bible that contains them, but you would like to read them, you can read them over on trinitybible.app.
there you go.
Yep. I've got
Sponsored.
many translations. It's the which Septuagint is it? It's an English translation of the Septuagint that has it.
Well, while you're checking that out, Leslie said she also has them as well. So that's good. Again, I think they're important to be read because again, there's a reason why the fathers called them the Deuterocanon, as in like the second canon. Because they found them very useful.
Yep.
I'd
I'm
say
a
they're not
translation.
inspired.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're all right. It said they're not inspired as they weren't quoted by the apostles. The Roman Catholic Church only confirmed them as canon in Trent. In response to the Reformation, they're interesting and useful. Yes. For some reason, I apologize, Tony. For some reason, this is what I say. This is where my brain fog's kicking in. I somehow still read that as Leslie's comment, and I don't know why. So if I said Leslie there, I apologize. That was indeed from Tony. Anyway, Gib, sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I've got the Deuterocanon that on trinitybible.app. It's the American Standard Version Byzantine text. That one includes the Deuterocanonical books.
Yep.
There's other ones on there in English, but that's like the big one. There's also the World English Catholic, and basically anything that's Catholic is gonna have it on there too for you.
And then if you're Ethiopian and you have the Ethiopian Bible,
I don't
you
have
have
that.
you have like an 86 book canon.
You know, I
Some
have
of them
like
vary. Some of them are 88, as far as I'm aware. But
the database has support for like 90, but it's not. There's no one translation in my database that has the entire Ethiopian canon. But yeah. I
yeah,
should see about finding one of those though, but they're kind of hard to find because the only like people don't tend to just translate that stuff necessarily and put it on the public domain all the time. So, and I'm not about to pay some dude $2,000 a year because he
pay me
sat down
2,000.
and translated the books of Enoch or something like that.
Pay me 2,000, but make it monthly.
Oh no, I couldn't do that. Sorry, no bueno. I wish.
Leslie says it's fine. She understands brain fog. She's fibromyalgia. Ooh, yeah, that's rough from what I hear, Leslie. Controlled but still foggy at times. Yeah, mine's will improve. It's just my body has been so run down. That even when it's really weird. I'll not get back into this, but like my body was sleeping more and more. Sometimes like ridiculous hours, like long stretches of time. But no matter how long I slept, I kept woken up. I kept waking up really, really tired, as if I had no sleep at all. So for this last week or so, I have just been pretty much resting. Tony says especially first and second Maccabees. Yeah, that's back to his interesting, useful to understand. Yeah, third and fourth is also I enjoy reading them as well. I quite like again, it's not necessarily anything to do with the canon or anything, but I actually quite like the book of Tobit. I actually enjoy reading it.
Okay.
So Any other questions, folks? You can add them in because we are just doing very much a chill stream. But Gabe, I have a question for you.
What's
It's
the
a very,
question?
very important question.
Uh-oh. What's this question?
Why do you believe in three gods?
I don't believe in three gods.
But Muslims told me you believe in three gods.
Muslims don't know what they talk about. Their God doesn't know what he's talking about. It's
True.
talking about. Fine. It could be
True.
an it. I don't know. I'm sure there's some weird
Oh, it's definitely an it.
collective.
It's
Yeah.
definitely an it.
I struggle to think it's
I'm not
one
even going to
demon
get
that did
into
all
this
that.
right now. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I struggle to believe it's one demon that did all that. So
Well, if it's the prince of demons, you might not be too concerned. Or, well, you'll be concerned, but I mean, you might not be too shocked.
I mean, okay.
Sorry, I saw Frog Dude's first part of it, and then he
Cousin?
cried. Cussing.
Yeah.
Is cussing a sin? It's
Um,
funny. Gabe and I were actually talking about this earlier too. Do you remember, Gabe?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and we've actually talked about it on past streams too.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Um,
take it, or do you want me to take it?
I can start for sure.
Yeah.
I this question is one where I think people actually need to hear what is being said first, rather than, because the moment you say I don't think it necessarily is a sin, most people's ears just switch off and go, "Oh, what a heathen!" As if you're promoting that people curse or swear all the time. Um, my my view on it is this: if your speech is constantly seasoned with "f this," "b that," you know every name under the sun, you have a problem controlling your tongue for sure. However, what makes something a curse word or a swear word?
Yeah, and that's
Like,
where I usually will push people to with it. Is I will use the. I think the one of the best examples for it is funny enough, the B word.
yeah.
The B word, which is BIT. Wait a second.
Oh wait,
CH.
I thought you were going to say the other one.
No. The B word, it literally at one point, like 100 years ago, it was not really a derogatory term used towards women.
No.
It was a literal term that meant a female dog that was used for
Yeah.
breeding on a farm. Like that's what it was.
Yeah.
And what happened was people started, and it's almost funny because a lot of our swear words, when we're like referring to people with a swear word, it's usually just an animal or something that was once used for an animal. Think
Yep.
of a Jack ASS, right?
Yep.
It's really a giant effort to dehumanize our
Yeah.
fellow man. And that's where I think a lot of the problem comes from is, you know, we run into that, and that's where we're dehumanizing a lot of people. And
Yeah.
that goes into the intention that kind of goes behind the words and how words are made.
Which is exactly what my position is, because for me, if you stub your toe and you drop an F bomb, I again, this, I'm not saying this for brownie points. I'm just saying I don't struggle with that type of language, thankfully. But if someone's around me and they stub their toe and they suddenly drop an F bomb, I'm not going to look at them and go, "You heathen!" Like that to me is like, okay, you let out just culturally saying you let out an expletive because you hurt yourself.
Mhm.
Okay, right. That's not a big whoop to me, because words are words, and words aren't inherently sinful. It's how you use words. Like, I could use really polite and pleasant words and insult you to the core of your being, right? Or
Yeah.
I could praise you, but have a few expletives in it every now and again. So my answer is, it depends, and it really does depend on your intent. The problem is most people don't give you the time of day to explain your point of view. They just hear that you're not automatically going to say yes, it's a sin, and they're like, "Oh, you big heathen." But for me, the reason why it really is, the intent is, like Gabe, you rightly pointed out, like the other, and I'm not going to say it because I know there'll be some people here. I don't personally mind saying the word, but I know there'll be some people here that maybe have more of a sensitive conscience, and that's fine. But the other B word, which is a term for illegitimate sons,
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah.
again, these are words that had original meaning, but they get turned into curse words. How did they get turned into curse words? Because it became colloquial usage where whenever you now call someone a B, it no
Mhm.
longer means you're saying to that person, "Oh, you're an illegitimate son." Now it's got more of a nasty intent behind it. Now it's just you're a B, this, that, and the other, right? So the sin, therefore, is the intent, the hatred behind the words. I wouldn't say that words themselves necessarily are sinful. So again,
Mm.
most people don't give you the time of day to actually articulate that position and nuance it. But here's what I would also say. I also don't advocate Christians running around dropping F bombs and this, that, and the other every now and again. Because if it comes out of you once in a while, fine, okay, big whoop again. I'm not going to look at you and be like, "Oh, you're a heathen." But if your speech is constantly seasoned with it, I would be like, yeah, you have a bit of a problem either with anger or controlling your tongue.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't automatically say that in and of itself cursing is a sin. So that would be my view on it. I, I,
Oh,
would- I would say it can be sinful. It's not necessarily it is sinful.
and that it also mirrors, Jesus's teachings when, for example, we could look at his teaching on lust. It's or on adultery, not it is lust, but on adultery. It's not just the physical act,
Yeah.
but it's like the literal state of how you're approaching that other person or other human
hmm
being. So, I think that we could apply that to
It
there
is,
to
and
help
we have to
simplify it
remember
too.
too. We've got very modern sensibilities as well, because
Mhm.
in Malachi chapter 1, God tells the priests that he is quite literally going to smear dung on their face. But the word is not necessarily dung there, it's a little bit more sharp in the Greek, and I'm sure people can get where I'm going. Um, Now, if you told most people you were going to smear dung on their face, people in the West would look at you and be like, a Christian would never say that. God said that. There are certain things in scripture that we would look at and go, how could that be said? It's because we have modern sensibilities. A lot of times, whenever it comes to language, words and phrases can be used for effect. That's why some people would argue that, and this is not necessarily my position, I'm just saying I've heard this said before and I don't necessarily disagree with it, but some people would think that there is a time and a place where a curse word can be dropped. But I'm like, well, Gabe, I think you've already answered this, but Tony says, what was the Bible translation you mentioned before? And I'm assuming that's what you put here in the comments.
Yep.
Yep.
The ASV BT, American
And he said,
Standard
thanks. I
Version
think
for
that's the one I picked up.
isn't plain text.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Glad I could help sell him a Bible. It's a good translation, though. It is. Like,
Tony's
it's
like,
the
I'm pulling
American
up
Standard
Malachi
Version
1
was.
on my logos and my interlinear. Good man, Tony.
There you go.
But yeah, it's like there's a lot of language in the. I think some people go too far. People like Sam Shamoon, for example, like
Mm,
his
yeah.
language is atrocious because again, it's his intent behind it.
Yep.
But like he's one of those people too, though. But that would try and justify it by like, oh, the prophet said some pretty harsh things, and so did the Lord. Yeah, they did, but not on the lines of like you know where Sam goes to. Like it goes way too far.
Yeah.
um, which he has recently admitted himself. The issue is like, will that be a lasting change in Sam or not? Who I pray it will be,
Oh, I've
but
got no clue. I haven't
yeah,
watched him in forever, so.
Nor have I. Like I used to watch his streams. Again, we did a stream on this, so I don't need to reiterate it. But like Sam's biblical knowledge is intense. Like there's no doubt about it. Like the man knows his scripture. Um, so I used to watch him for that. But like getting through those streams was a struggle because like every caller, it was like, I'm not going to repeat the language, but like their mother was insulted, this, that, and the other. And it's like, dude,
Mhm.
seriously.
And a lot of it kind of comes from a lot of that, what's it called? Blood sports styled stuff that people have kind of gotten into. Well, I can't say kind of have gotten into. It's always been a thing as far as I'm aware. My entire life it's been something.
Mm-hmm. Frog Dude says, last question. You can ask as many questions as you want, bro, unless you're running off somewhere, that is. Who is the Bishop of Rome? Rome to y'all? Is he first among equals, just a guy, an antichrist, or something else? Yoo-hoo, there's Colton. Hi,
Uh,
Colton. Um,
confessionally, for
well,
me, Antichrist. But
okay. Well, it's in the
confession.
Westminster as well. The only thing I was going to clarify, though, but is if we're talking Bishop of Rome
As
in
an
the sense,
individual
well, I was going to say in the sense of like
or as an
the
office, because when I read Bishop of Rome, I usually view it more as an office than as an individual.
well, you see that's
But
why I'm clarifying, because to me, Bishop of Rome, I could see that as an office and be okay with it. Because historically there was a Bishop of Rome, and he
yeah.
was one bishop among many, especially in the early church. So that kind of ties in the Frog
Hmm.
Dude's second question: is he a first among equals? That was historically the early church's position on Peter.
Hmm.
Peter was the first of the apostles, but he was the first among equals. Um, so if we're talking though about like Pope, yes, both of our confessions would say that he is an antichrist.
Yeah. And that largely comes from, funny enough, other popes in the past and their statements
Yeah, Pope
regarding.
Urban, I believe. I need to double check that, but I'm fairly
I'll have
sure.
to double check it too, but there
Yeah,
have been papal statements in the past that anyone who tries to like claim universal authority over the entire church is the Antichrist.
yeah,
So when Protestants say that, we're not just pulling that out of thin air. We have a reason why we say that.
yeah.
And I mean, otherwise, if you're just meaning like as a bishop, I mean, I think you could say he's a bishop, but I mean, it
Mhm.
like a bishop with that claim, like what? Because when you're talking about the Bishop of Rome, especially in like the modern sense, there is more to it than just him being a bishop. He's like,
That's why I had to
he's
clarify,
yeah,
because if we're tying it to the idea of a modern pope, which unfortunately you can't, like Gabe, as you said, like they're intrinsically linked now, so like you almost
yeah.
can't think about them the other way. But I would say that if you're just speaking purely about a bishop of Rome, yeah, sure, bishop.
There we go. Hey, we got Colton in here.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
to see you,
Pulled him up a
Colton.
second ago. Yeah.
Mm,
Keep the questions coming, folks. Keep them
absolutely.
coming.
I'm
Keep
gonna
them.
munch
Keep
a
my
little bit more on
brain.
my food real quick.
Keep my brain sharp. Yeah. Eat away, Gabe. Now I can turn Gabe's camera back on and show him eating, but I won't do that. Ah, dear. What else have we got? No, no, I'm not going anywhere yet, Frog Dude. I'm chilling. Trying to get my brain sharp again. Too much brain fog, unfortunately. Folks, if you do wish to support the channel, there is a little giving link there. You can either scan the code and buy me and Gabe a cup of coffee. It can be a one-time gift, or you can set up a recurring amount monthly. It will help us with the work that we plan to do. So while I have been absent from YouTube, my work over on Substack has not stopped. I've still been putting out articles and putting out resources on Fourth Wall. There are now some downloads that you can get on Fourth Wall as well. And if you do want some cool merch, you can go check that out as well on thelaymanapologist.com, and then click the little merch icon, and that will take you directly to my Fourth Wall store.
Cool beans. There's
I
also some
used to,
Easter eggs on your The layman apologist
Yeah,
breakdown.
no one's got them all yet. Like, don't name
Oh
how
man.
many there is. I don't want people to know yet, but
Okay. Okay.
only one Easter egg has been found so far. If people can find all the Easter eggs, they will win a bundle on my store, which is worth, I forget which price it was worth now. Um, but you will also get a Bible with that as well. But it will be a Bible of my choice, Jennison Shorty. Hopefully, I pronounced that right. Being a NASB 95 fan, what are your thoughts on the LSB? Uh I like it. Um, I don't use it as much as I used to whenever it first came out. Like when it first came out, I was all for it. Thought it was great. Loved the use of Yahweh in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Um, I have nothing against it. I just, for whatever reason, it never took the spot of my NASB. So I have it, like it's on my shelf, but just always went back to the NASB 95. So,
Very
Gabe,
good.
any thoughts?
I I don't really use it. I've got it on Logos, but that's about it.
Hmm. I don't think I've ever asked you before. What is your main translation?
I have New King James Version for like just day to day reading.
Yeah,
Otherwise, just about every study Bible I have is ESV.
I don't really have study Bibles anymore. I got rid of them over the years. Like I have got
Mhm.
one there. I'm just not a big study Bible fan anymore.
Yeah.
Frog dudes all over the Roman Catholics tonight.
Oh man.
What are 3 reasons why you're not Roman Catholic?
Okay. Um, where do I begin? I would say you've got the. I would say because I don't believe there is evidence for the infallibility of the Bishop of Rome or the Magisterium.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't believe that there is the role as we see it, as we see it in our modern day, of for the Bishop of Rome. I think you could easily articulate a role of a Bishop of Rome, right? I
Hmm.
think you could even make that a very high up bishop with a ton of authority,
Oh yeah.
but having universal jurisdiction over the church, able to make uh, infallible statements and bind anything to your consciousness, that is something that is far from something I think you're going to be able to defend very
Hmm.
easily in church history. And then those are two, they're kind of linked together. It really all just falls down to the papacy there. I would also say, like, you got other things like that they bind certain things to your conscience, like
That's my
transubstantiation.
main one. Dogma for me is my biggest.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong with dogma. I just think that they do overstep a little bit. And that's kind of where I was hinting at when I mentioned the magisterium and the Bishop of Rome.
There,
Uh,
there's nothing wrong with dogma in the sense of like if we have apostolic teaching of it, but like
yeah.
whenever it comes to Mary's Assumption, all those types of things, like to say dogmatically that if
Mhm.
you're taught these things and uh you don't accept them, that you are unable to be saved. I think that's a burden that Jesus never he never did place on anyone, but he never would either, especially so far removed from his ascension. Um,
Mhm.
so for me, that is the like I have other reasons that I'm not Roman Catholic, but if someone was to ask me what is my biggest hang up, like why, because I have Roman Catholic friends and they ask all the time, they're like, what's keeping you from Rome? My biggest answer would be these dogmatic statements, because again, let's just say for argument's sake that I believe that Mary is a perpetual virgin. Let's just say for argument's sake that I believe she was assumed into heaven. To make those dogmatic though, that's where my brain and my heart is just like, nah, you're
Mhm.
placing a burden on someone that, and I look, we can go back and forth on this all night, because if I say, it's found nowhere in scripture, they're going to say, yeah, well, Scripture is not our only authority, and I don't want to move into that debate right now.
Yeah.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, I grant that and say, okay, Scripture is not your only authority. Tradition also. But the thing is, the assumption and the perpetual virginity is a different story. But the assumption of Mary, yeah, that's quite late on, and the earliest evidence you have for it is, it's a little bit spurious, to be honest. So to make it a defeaty statement on it, that if you don't believe it, you're not saved. And again, remember, because I don't want to straw man Catholics, because I have a lot of Catholic friends and I have a lot of Catholic followers actually on this. They believe that you can only say that about someone if they have been taught the truth of the statement, they know it's true, and they still reject it. So it's not just if you reject it, you're not saved.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and
um,
I mean, I would say, like, generally speaking, from my vantage point, and this is like, I think I have said this in videos with you before, if the Pope, like, in his, like, authority and in his office is true, then all the objections I've ever had against Roman Catholicism are moot. They're null and void. They don't exist. That's why I always put the papacy as, like, that front reason as to why I am not Roman Catholic.
well, if you would just be like Cameron Bertuzzi and do a Bayesian statement, you would
Mm.
you would automatically affirm the papacy. Come on now.
Oh, yes, of course, of course. Um,
I
but,
like
I mean,
I like Cameron, like, as a person.
oh,
I
yeah, I like
I
Cameron
had
too.
a lot of issues with how he started to run his channel. Like, whenever he converted to Rome very publicly, and then he kept quiet for like the longest period of time on like how official it was. Like, because there was a lot of debate going back and forth for a while. Well,
Mhm.
did he get cold feet at the last moment? Because there's been no official statement. That went on for months on end while he was still making videos, and then he sort of like really came out heavy Roman Catholic strong. Then for the wildest time, like on X and on YouTube, he was very, very anti-Protestant, like almost baiting Protestants, which I called him out numerous times for, and that's where I knew he was baiting, because like he wasn't actually engaging in conversation; he just wanted the feedback. And the same thing I said about Cleave to Antiquity, I was like, dude, you built your channel on the concept of, like, you called it capturing Christianity, but like the concept of it was mere Christianity. It was like Christianity across traditions, right?
Yeah.
Now you are insulting a large portion of your audience. You're like, and you were like, Cameron, that is his job. YouTube is Cameron's job, has been for years. I remember saying to them, I was like, dude, you are basically backhanding your audience, and it's not going to go well for you. Sure enough, Cameron recently has reversed his decision now to be Catholic focused and wants to go back to mere Christianity. He says he's going to do a separate channel for the Roman Catholic stuff, but like, the only reason I bring that up is just to say is I do get a little bit suspicious of people at times that cater to their wallet, shall we say?
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh man, we got a whole bunch of chats going in here.
yeah, some of them are just
Like
talking to themselves,
7
but
new
I
ones.
see a question from Frog Dude. What are 3 things, ideas, practices you wish Protestants did that Protestants don't do that are considered Roman Catholic? Well, again, I hate to be this guy, Frog Dude, but when you say Protestant, do you mean the historical Protestant movement, or are you including evangelicals in Protestant?
Yeah, that's where I was gonna say. I'm like, well, if you ask most, like, evangelical guys, I'm pretty much a Catholic. So,
Yeah.
like, they would be like, "Oh yeah, you're Roman Catholic," and I'm like, "Remove the
Or the
Roman,
other one you
man.
get is Roman
Remove the Roman."
Roman Catholic Light. That's the
Yep,
other one.
yep. Catholic light, or you get the Roman Catholics will call me a Baptist. I'm like, anything but okay.
Yeah.
We got a long history of like butting heads, but okay, fine. I don't dislike Baptists, to be clear. I like my Baptist brothers.
He says he means evangelicals. Okay, right. Well, that changes a little bit.
Yeah, that changes a lot.
yeah.
Infant baptism. Infant
That's a Lutheran.
baptism, the Lord's presence in the communion,
I don't
the
wanna.
understanding of. I'll let you make your case. I'll let you
No,
make your
no,
case.
sorry. I technically cut you off there,
Uh,
so go you on. I just
gonna
had
say
a thought in my head.
for the third one, I would say the understanding of sola scriptura and like what the actual reformers meant by that.
Good grief, yes. I am so sick of people talking about sola scriptura online whenever what they're actually talking about is solo scriptura.
I want to make it clear because I know I jumped right on that train. I do not dislike any of my Evangeli Belly friends. Okay, Evangeli Bellies, we can be cool. Just read your Bible some more, please. That's it.
I'll define it for him, Tony. I know he's capable of answering himself, but whenever I said outside the classical Protestant movement, so if you're considering classically what Protestants are, they're Lutheran, they're the Reformed, and they're the Anglicans. Anything outside of that is not considered historically Protestant.
I
So,
feel like. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
but no, I was just going to say. So normally, whenever Frogdud and I are talking about evangelical, we are not referring to people who are evangelical. Evangelical is good. We're more talking about evangelicalism, which you find more in very modern churches where, there's a coffee bar within the church sanctuary, there's a rock band, all that type of thing. So more modern type of stuff.
Unless maybe Tony's wanting to get at the fact that Protestants were actually called evangelical Catholics.
That's why I say evangelical as a term is not my contention. Evangelicalism is my contention, because that has become a movement on its own now. That is now very much,
You got
you
Mr.
know,
Billy Graham in there and his
well,
crusades.
yeah, but I'm thinking more about, like, honestly, like churches that have, rock bands, and there's stages, and there's, trapeze artists swinging off the ceiling, and
Okay.
Leslie says I definitely don't like Rockstar or Rockstar.
Rock concert churches.
Jeez, oh my brain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
same, Leslie. Like I think there can be genuine believers in places like that. I just think they're very sadly low on discernment at times. But like as a movement, I think it often goes it's dodgy, and whether you can and Livian's not here to
just
block.
throw in Livian. We need
It's
you.
alright, I'll just not bring it up.
Cool beans. But yeah, I guess another comment before we move on.
Yep,
For
sorry,
like,
just let me bring up Frog Dude.
oh yeah, go
My
ahead.
definition is what SK. Yeah, that's me, by the way, in case you don't know, folks. The ones that are non-denominational have a rock band concert for worship with TEDx talk in between. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Gib, before I bring up the next comment?
I was gonna say, like, to some degree. Now, I'll hold my tongue. I'll be a little bit more ecumenical than that today. But no, I've gone to some of these mega churches and stuff, and yeah, I'll probably save my comments. I'll make a little video on my channel on my thoughts on mega churches, and I'll put that out sometime.
Yeah.
So I think that I have some stuff that could be beneficial for some people.
You've got some issues, Gib.
Yes.
The lady Cara, good to see you, said,
Hi,
what
Cara.
frustrates me mildly about the mega churches in my area is to see how that they shut down traffic to leave service, can't stay a minute longer with Jesus. Lol. Hello there, y'all. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, it's I've been to churches like that in the past where, like, the moment, like, oh wow,
I was
Chopper's
gonna
dancing in
say,
the
yeah, he's
corner.
having a little disc. I've
I
been
like
seeing
that.
it every now and again, but you
I
must have
like that.
moved it to a spot where
I did. I'm going to keep him there. Well, I probably won't, because I grab my mic a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of A lot of church services I've been to in the past that, you know, in the moment the final song or whatever's over, and I'm saying song for a reason because like there weren't hymns or anything. It's like a stampede to get out of the church and straight into the car park and drive off.
Mhm.
But that would be, I have many more contentions with those types of churches than just that though. But
Yeah.
anyway. Any other questions, folks? Hit us with them. We'll try our best to answer them.
Here, while they bring them in, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit more food. So I'll be
Yep,
right
you eat
back.
your food.
Oh, I ate a whole serving. I'm going for a serving too.
Oh, go for it.
I've got to get that protein. There's not a lot of protein in this
I
thing,
haven't.
but
I
I gotta
haven't.
get the calories in me. There's no gains if I don't have no calories. All right,
Well,
so
dude,
I'll
I
be
can
right
tell
back.
you one thing while you're doing it. We'll go you on ahead and do that. But it's like 20 minutes past 1 here, and I haven't eaten yet today. So, well,
Dang.
technically in 2 days now because this is the second day. But you know what I mean.
Oh, I feel bad now. All right. Well, I'm sorry, man.
Go eat your second bowl because the moment the stream's over, I'm going for food anyway. Like it's a bad time to eat, but I'm still going for food.
All right,
Um,
I'll be back.
Frog Dude says, "What are 3 reasons that you're not Eastern Orthodox?" I will answer that very shortly, Frog Dude. Lady Cara says, "We're in agreement that that is the least of their troubles." Yeah, you can say that again. Tony says, "We have a worship team and contemporary worship, but we also have solid biblical teaching. We're not Hillsong or Elevation." Yeah, and that's the thing. You see, I would have no issue with that, Tony. As you know, like you've been on many streams both here and with Tim. My issue is, as I say, like the big mega churches where, like, to be honest, if an apostle walked in, he probably be like, "What the heck is this?" Going back to Frogdud's questions, what are 3 reasons you're not Eastern Orthodox? One, I was raised in the West. Sounds like a joke, but it is true. I was raised in the West. Two other reasons. Probably veneration of icons. Um, hmm. Like, there's lots of like things I could say that everybody answers. Like they all answer the same thing. So I'm not going to give those. Trying to think of like 3 reasons that I really would. So like one, obviously, I was raised in the West, so I'm a Western Christian. Uh, I don't know. I need to think on that one a little bit more. Um, Lady Cara says, "I say a closer walk with Jesus personally." Oh, is one of the reasons. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to think of my third reason. Like, I don't want to keep giving the same standard answers because, like, most people will jump to things like, prayers to saints or whatever. But I think a practical reason would be, let's say I had no issue with Eastern Orthodoxy at all in my country. I would say there's maybe like 2 that I know of Eastern Orthodox churches. So, from a practical reason, even if I wanted to, it would be very, very hard to be Eastern Orthodox. Um,
Howdy.
Tony says, "I know the teaching is solid. I'm writing some of it. Wrote small group studies on Zephaniah and Haggai this week." Oh, nice.
Hmm,
Nice, Tony.
nice.
Did you get your second portion, Gabe?
I haven't eaten it yet, obviously, but I got it. Yeah, it's
Get
in my
that grub
fancy
down you.
yellow bowl.
Get that grub down you.
Yep.
So, Gabe, 3 reasons you're not Eastern Orthodox.
Oh, I would probably say the first and most primary would be like the topic of the nature of Scripture,
Mm.
the nature of like the authority of the church. Also is another one I would say. And then I want to say that one. That one's at one, but it's definitely not like top 3 reasons.
Yeah, I was trying to give like non-standard ones, like ones that were still, big reasons, but like
Yeah,
not just the
I,
standard,
like I could throw my hands up and be like, "Oh, the filioque clause," but
Yeah.
that one's like not really a top 3 reason to me because there's a lot of Protestants who don't believe in the filioque.
Tony's gonna be up
Um,
late tonight, boys. He's getting the decaf.
oh man, wait, why would the decaf keep him up late?
That's the joke. He's up really late and he's drinking decaf.
Ah, silly me. But,
Uh,
the nature of Scripture, the authority of the church and their understanding of it, and then I would say their understanding of like it kind of ties into the authority of the church, but like their understanding of like the councils and stuff and how they came to certain councils.
mm-hmm.
But you know, so
Yep.
yeah, I hope that's sufficient.
Yeah, I still haven't thought on my third, but I will at some stage. Sorry, folks, I had to remove Chopper. He's he's not removed, but I had to get the angle off because he was starting to catch my eye.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Oh, Mr. Frog Dude, trying to coming up with all the divisive questions, man. I see. You're
Yeah.
good. Don't worry. I don't actually care. I'm quite tired, which means I got that polemical side of me out.
Yeah. 3 reasons you're not evangelical, using the same definition I gave earlier. I think there's a lack. My biggest one there is a lack of reverence. B, I think that their interpretation of scripture is very weak, and I think they often try and explain away very basic texts just because they do not like the outcome of them. And I think for my third reason, is they reject tradition of all sorts, in the sense that they have their own traditions that they don't know are traditions, if that makes sense. Like, that whole thing, no creed but Christ, but that is a creed. It's that type of thinking with them. They do the whole, oh no, we don't do tradition around here, and it's like, well, you do. You just do very modern tradition. As where for me, I come from a higher church background. Not all my life, but like this last number of years, a higher church background. So for me, tradition, as long as it doesn't contradict scripture, I accept. Tony says he's got the decaf so he can sleep afterwards. That makes sense. That makes sense. Lady Cara says, name days, what's all that truly about? Lol, I have many questions. I've been so out of this world, I don't even know what a name day is, Lady Cara, so you're going to have to tell us.
Yeah,
Do you know, Gabe?
no. I thought it was going to be like something with like numerologies. I took a glance and I was like, oh, it's probably something to do with numerology, but you read it and I was like, oh yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah. Tony says, so evangelical equals Big Eva. Yeah. Look,
Not, not really, but
I would distinguish evangelical, the word, from what I like to say is evangelicalism. But yeah, essentially. Frog Dude says that's the way I've been made to use.
I see that.
Then Lily Carr says I may be confusing that with the Greek Orthodox. Oh, all right. I'm still lost.
Oh, I figured that. Never mind. I didn't get it. I thought I figured it out. I thought she was saying there's so many different names of like all the different denominations. What do they mean? And
No, I
no,
think, and again, she first of all, I've got an excuse. I do genuinely have brain fog at the moment, so I do have an excuse. Gabe, you're on your own.
I'm on my
I don't
own.
know.
I mean,
Maybe name days is something that they do in the Greek Orthodox Church or something. I don't know. Maybe it's something like celebration of like saints or something. I don't know. Tony says I come from an above sea level church. Well, at least it's not below sea level, Tony. That would make getting there very hard. From Leslie. Question. Could you all please pray for my mother? She is in ICU and struggling. She's 80. Her name is Peggy. My dad's health isn't good either, and my sister is better than I am. Yep, sure.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to take a note of that, Leslie, just so I can remember to. No,
Ah,
there we are, chat.
I see. Okay, yeah. I see what she means. Name days in Christianity are a celebration of the feast days of the saints after whom a person is named. Wow. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean I mean that's a tradition that we've been doing.
Gabe, I'm going to be honest. I was writing and I didn't hear one word of that. I'll say that again.
Oh, yeah, I'll read it out again. Name days in Christianity are celebrations of feast days in the saint
Ah, yeah,
of the saints after whom a person is named, typically
yeah, I
chosen
thought
at
that completely
baptism.
makes sense.
Typically chosen at baptism. This tradition. Oh wait, okay, never mind. I misread that even after reading that. Wow, I'm tired, guys. That's my excuse. I'm tired. Sleepy Gabe. You can have brain fog. I'll have tiredness. Okay, even though
Yeah,
it's like
I,
1 a.m. for you. So really, you got both of them right there.
well, I'm normally awake at these times. For me, it's more just like as I say, my brain really has been on the rocks recently, which is why I'm trying to
Hmm.
sharpen it by being on stream again. It's working a little bit, but I'm still kind of tripping over my words. I really do want to get, I say back to, we haven't actually started yet, but I really want to get back to regular streaming so that we can get into the call-in streams. But I do not want to do a call-in stream at the moment because, like as I say, an atheist could come up and ask me what 2 + 2 is, and I think I'd take a minute to answer.
Alright.
Frog Dude says, "Oh well, hang on." Leslie says, "Thanks. Yep, no problem. Of course, Leslie." Um, Frog Dude says, "May the
Yeah,
Lord bless your mom."
exactly like Saint Nick and so forth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lady Cara's comment as well. Yeah, sorry I missed that.
Mhm.
Apologies, folks. I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, I know within some people within like the Lutheran tradition do that, but no, it's not a very common thing here in the United States. So
yeah,
I don't know
I'm
about the Reform guys. I don't know if you guys do it at all, but
I'm not opposed to saints' days in the sense of like obviously Saint Valentine's is like
oh no,
that's like a commercial nonsense. But like for example, over here we've got St George's Day. We've got you know different saints that were renowned for something that we have days over here. Um, I'm not necessarily against that because to be honest, like you've got the culture giving days to absolute degenerates. So I would far rather
yeah.
it be given to men and women that were considered saints. I seen someone else say the fact that the Bible. Oh yeah, Tony's comment here. Yeah, the Bible calls all believers saints. It does. That's why I wouldn't be opposed to
Mhm.
believers that have gone on to be with the Lord. I wouldn't be opposed to calling them saints. That's why when you do get like Saint whatever's day, I'm like, yeah, sure. As I say, I would far rather have that than
I'm not gonna say it. I'll get
celebrate.
canceled if I say it, so I won't say it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I know what you're going to say, and I'm not going to say it either because YouTube will kick me off. Um, yeah, I just brought Tony's comment up. The answer is 3.5, Colton. 3.5.
I know what movie that's from. I just can't remember the name of it.
What, this quote?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me Colton just doesn't, like, he's just not intrigued about, like, their philosophy of a swallow?
No, he probably is. But it's probably because he forgot. I think they answered it in the movie. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. I do think we need more holidays to spend in the Word and reflect on martyrs, servants of the Lord. Yeah, absolutely. That's my view on it. As I say, I think whenever you've got days now, you've been given to, and again, I have to be very careful because we are on YouTube, which is known as censorship. But like when you are given days out to people who have quite literally committed crimes, or whatever you have, Pride Day month, whatever, yeah, I would far rather it be given to saints that actually have a story of the Lord's testimony, and I would far rather us get back to that in the culture. Bring out no, I won't. I won't do it, Colton. I won't do it. Uh Top 3 video games, Gabe. You're not allowed to say your Nazi game that you showed.
Oh my goodness. No, that's not even in the top 3.
And for those watching, it wasn't actually a Nazi game.
Minecraft is definitely up there. I like Minecraft. I haven't played it in
Played it a day in my
years,
life.
but what?
Never played it a day in my life.
Well, you're not missing out on that much. It's a sandbox block building game, but I like it. Other than that, I used to play a lot of Destiny.
Never played it a day in my life.
That's all right. You're also not missing out on much. It's like it was a live action or a live service game. Yeah.
I know it.
And they would
I'm
continue developing the story, and it all turned super homo. Yeah, that's a word for it.
I like games. I'm just not a huge gamer. Like I don't game all that often. So like I tried to play one of my absolute favorite games tonight, which was a fail, which is The Wolf Among Us. But in another instance, I'm kind of glad that it didn't work out, because it's one of those things I was telling Gabe off camera. Like whenever I am playing it by myself, I think I just automatically tuned it out. But it wasn't until Gabe and I were trying to get through it, like trying to get the sound right, I never realized how much foul language is in it. But if you can get past the foul language, the game itself is really good. But I like story based games. It's kind of my equivalent to fiction books, because I don't really read fiction books. I quite enjoy non-fiction and theology and apologetics books. So I think the only way my mind ever gets excited into the realm of fiction outside of the silver chair is through games. The lady Cara, she says,
My
I'm a
third
Sims kind of
game.
gal.
Oh, what? Oh, Sims? Sims
I
is a
don't
pretty
think
good
I've
game.
played Sims since the original, like, and who knows how many years ago that is.
I got Sims because it's a non-competitive game and it's like the easiest game in the world. So I went for it. You want to make your guy go from like dirt poor to the richest guy in the whole wide world? That's the game for you.
The lady Cara says, if I had as many hours in a flight simulator as The Sims, I could pilot a corporate jet.
Probably.
Well, there is a flight simulator game out there, Cara, so perhaps you should try that out and see.
There are
Um,
many of them.
now The Sims, back when I played it, like I'm talking the original Sims, so like again, I have no idea how old that was. That game was purposely released as like what we call now rage bait, but like it really was, because you could do everything perfectly and your sim would just randomly go to negative hunger, negative patience, everything, and just freak out. So
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see how that would be quite annoying.
FD, I'm going to come back to your question here in a second. Jay says, still gotta be Factoria for me as my fave. Tony says I prefer board games like Settlers of Catan. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a
I do like board
game I
games.
still haven't actually played yet, but
Yeah, I like board games. Not necessarily that type of board game, but I like role playing board games and stuff. Um, Leslie says, "Hang on, this new timer is
CJ's
good,
comment,
but sometimes I can't
Victoria.
get through them quick enough. I don't like fiction much anymore either. I'd rather read or listen to theology type books. I don't even do that much. I read the Bible and study notes. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's I think we go through phases at times. Like I have never been, I have nothing against fiction books, and I think you can learn a lot from fiction books. My mind just won't stay in them. I just prefer to read theology. Colton says Elden Ring. I hear that game frustrates a lot of people.
I've never played it
Um,
before, so
Seeley says I like card games. It's as
Hmm.
far as I know, it's made by the same people as made Dark Souls. So like it's basically just boss fights everywhere. So
Oh,
question
he's
for you, Gabe.
asking me if I've played the board game. No, I still haven't, though I do have plans to take it to a family dinner. It's just every time I go to my family dinners anymore, they're all sick. So like I take it over and then it's like two people. No, it's like literally it's like my stepmom will call like we will have a plan to go over to my sister's house and we're gonna make pizza and stuff from scratch because she has sourdough. So we're making sourdough bread. And then, I just the day of, we're on our way over there, and all of a sudden I show up and Lauren tells me, she's like, "Oh yeah, uh, our stepmom." I'm not gonna do too many name drops,
Yeah,
but our stepmom said that our siblings are all sick. So one of our siblings is sick, so now all of them are staying there or something. It's just like, really? So I mean, like the only game we've actually had a chance to play is Uno, and I love Uno. Don't get me wrong, but I do want to play something else. And
the creators of Uno do not know what they're talking about. That's all I'm gonna say. They tried to weigh in on how you do plus twos and things like that, and everybody was like, "Get out of here."
Hmm.
Um, my cousin has shown me several. Must be genetic. I've had every version. Sims, I'm guessing. Love the design space and home design elements to that. If not that, a lovely documentary. Yeah, I quite like documentaries as well, but the documentaries I watch tend to be a little bit dark. I don't know why. Whoa, we've just had a rapid growth in viewers. Welcome. Um, I'm assuming the
Told you
majority,
we're getting those God Logic viewers.
bro.
You know,
Not,
he doesn't
not,
realize it, but we're
not even,
going.
not even close. They've came from X, so
Oh, nice.
I haven't forgot FD's comment. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. It's just the chat's going pretty fast here. He is a Roman Catholic.
Lutheran. Oh, yeah, practically. I mean, depends on who you ask. If you ask the right person, I'm definitely like as papist can get. And if you ask the other person, I'm like the most anti-papist person out there. So it all really depends on who you ask. But yeah, no, that places me right in Lutheranism.
Yeah. No, she was
Like,
talking about flight simulators. I thought it was Sims. Fair enough. Celie says she enjoys cribbage. I have no idea what that is. Her grandma taught her how to play when she was a kid. Nice.
isn't that golf style game where instead of like a golf club, you have like the giant hammer and you hit the balls with the rings? Not the rings,
Bro,
but like the
I have no idea.
perks.
She can let us know, but I have no idea.
I could be completely wrong. Probably am.
Uh, I think we'll do this one together, Gabe, because I
Yeah, sure.
don't think I could come up with five individually right now, but five
Okay.
practical skills. I think every guy should learn a trade. Whether you go into the trade or not is a different story, but learn a trade. Whether that's painting and decorating, mechanicking,
So what I'm hearing is you know how to work on cars. I'm kidding.
sure. I think just learn how to fix things would be my number one.
Hmm.
trying to think what
Yeah,
else.
here. I've got a couple good ones too. So, on top of learning how to fix things, learning how to take loss, not like loss like death, but I mean, I could obviously do that, but like take a loss. The amount of young men I have seen, especially as of late, when they lose a game and they just explode on you,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
that's emotional
dude,
maturity.
I'm like, you get like, yeah, and that's where I would just like grow up.
Well,
But
that ties into one that I was actually going to say.
oh,
Most men need to learn how to be okay being alone. Um,
yeah,
I see a lot of young men nowadays, and it's not a bad thing because God quite literally created, you know, woman for man for this purpose. Like, it's not good that a man should be alone. But I think you need to learn how to be okay being alone. Because I see a lot of guys slipping into depression and things over, not being able to find someone. And that's legit. But if you learn how to be okay on your own, I think the right girl will come along whenever you're least expecting it, is pretty much what I would say.
all right,
That's why I think it ties into what you said. Their
just
lack of
growing up, I
emotional, yeah,
guess.
yeah, lack of emotional maturity can make it can make boys. Sorry, it can make men act like boys rather than men.
Okay, but I mean, I another one to kind of bounce off of that too would be, so we've got, just to summarize what we got so far. We got, you know, working with your hands, being able to like build things, do things,
Mhm.
being a productive member of society.
Be useful. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got, growing up, you know, getting past the things when you were once young, the things that you once did when you're young, you don't do them anymore, right?
Hmm.
Now, you move on, you grow up. You don't have rampages and outrage because you got beat at chess or something like that. You just suck it up, Buttercup. And then, using that same skill, being okay with being alone and being, emotionally stable enough or mature enough to be okay with that.
Hmm.
Another one I would say is just, especially for young men, is prayer. I find that there's a lot of young guys that just they aren't necessarily great at praying, and by that I don't mean like they just have like a bad speech or they're just like bad at praying. I mean like they look at prayer almost as if it's something feminine and that they don't
Hmm.
want to do it. And I think that that's a horrible outlook on prayer.
Yeah.
And I think people really need to, men in particular, really need to step it up and actually, you know, devote themselves to the Lord and pray to Him.
Yep. The other thing too, because I see, at least it was there a second ago. I can't see it anymore now, and I'm not scrolling back. Save your money. Learn how to save
Yeah,
and budget. Um,
I think that
you
one
you,
goes for
you want to
everyone, though.
be
I don't think that one's just for men.
uh agreed, but what I mean by that though, but is because he's asking for skills that men need to be good at. Like, if we're going to treat what Scripture says about men,
Okay.
and we're going to see them as the providers of the family, I'm going to look at that and say the man should know. Like, I think budgeting often gets seen as like a woman's role. I think the man should also know how to budget, um, because he should be able to say, look, this is what I make, this is what we can spend.
Yeah.
I think it's just a good skill because while you're on your own, waiting for a partner or whatever, you need to learn how to budget your own money.
Hmm.
But I think, again, unless the generations underneath us are different, a lot of guys are very good at budgeting, mainly because guys are if you give a guy a mattress, a TV, and a game console or something like that, or a book, he would live in a flat furnished that way. Like he wouldn't
Yeah.
really upgrade to anything else. So like he kind of saves through just not really caring. So I think there's that aspect of it.
I was gonna say, because as far as like budgeting goes, most of the people I know about who are like serious about budgeting are usually guys. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's still a good skill that they should know. And
Mhm.
your foundation for it is very much warranted. So
Here's one. I don't know if I'd necessarily put it in the top 5, but learn how to survive, and I mean literally
yeah,
survive. So like if you were stranded out in a forest or something, could you hunt? Could you fish? Could you be able to develop a shelter if need be? Could you, survive 72 hours deserted?
yeah.
I think those are skills nowadays men don't get taught, as where, and I'm not saying you need to be like a Bear Grylls or like a Navy SEAL or something, but like I think a lot of skills nowadays men don't get taught by their fathers anymore, is like, how to build shelter, how to, light a proper fire to make sure,
Well,
that it doesn't spread, all that type of thing.
in their defense, many of their fathers didn't even teach them it either. So
Yeah,
at least here in the United
that,
States, we've definitely
that's what
become
I'm saying.
very.
Generationally, that has died off, which I think should make a comeback.
Hmm.
We have
I mean,
missed a bit of that here.
my dad definitely started getting into that stuff. I think it was a little bit late for me, but he started getting into camping and stuff, and that was his big thing for the longest while. Now it's Magic the Gathering cards. Very different things, I know. Oh man.
Oh dear. Let me see. Have we missed anything?
Let me scroll up. 'Cause every
I
time I looked at the
We're all
chat, it
having
was like a whole new set of chats.
that's what I'm saying. They're having a good conversation with themselves, which is good. I like that. I like whenever
Oh yeah.
chat actually talks. But I just keep scrolling at times to see in case I missed any question. If I did, folks, just restate it and we'll try and get at it. I probably won't be on a whole lot longer, but I'll be on for a little bit yet. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. We will try our best to answer. I am not mentally fully functioning right now, but you should at least get somewhat of an answer out of me. Seeley says everyone should at least know the basics of cooking. Yeah, yeah.
I can back that 1,000 times over. Indeed, yes. Because the amount of people I have sat there and been like, "Oh yeah, let's go cook a meal or something," and I kid you not, they cannot skin a potato. It is that depressing. They ask me, "How do I use a can opener?" And I have to go, "You don't know how to use a can opener. You don't know how to skin a potato."
I would get it.
And these are real examples from my personal life, man. These aren't me. I could make it even like exaggerated. These are not exaggerated in the slightest. These are completely real examples.
This is why I say I would get it if it was something like, hey, I've never used a washing machine before. Like, how'd I use that? Like, okay, fair. You don't know how to use a washing machine because you've
It's a
never
new
used
piece of
one before.
technology. Yeah.
Like a lot of people would look at that and be like, "You've never used a washing machine." I would have a lot more grace for something like that because I'd be like, "Yeah, well, if you've never used one,
Mhm.
fair enough. You're not, it's not just as simple as throwing the clothes in and turning it on. Like you need to know how to put in what wash it's on. What detergent you can put in. Should you have mixed colors, all that sort of stuff. So like that one, I would have a lot more grace for because I'd be like, okay, no one ever taught you how to do it. But like, dude, if you've got a can and a can opener and you don't know how to use that, I'm sorry, that's bad.
When you said washing machine, I honestly thought you said dishwasher. So I'm like, what do you mean? I got perfectly good dishwashers right here. But no. Washing machine is not a dishwasher. So that one was my bad. But yeah. What do we got going on here? I see a couple more comments in. Field dress a deer. Yeah, it's gross, but something worth learning how to do, especially because a lot of people, they don't, a lot of, especially like new hunters, will contaminate their deer trying to do it for the first time. So definitely a skill worth learning, especially while you can live in a life of luxury of, not needing to survive off that.
Tis true. Tis true.
And then that's where everyone needs to know the basics of cooking. Yeah, definitely.
Everyone what?
Needs to know at least the basics of cooking.
Oh yeah, we're long past that, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, how far? Okay, we've only got a couple more comments. That was 3 minutes ago.
I know, but I already brought it up on the screen, hence feeling like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're far past that.
Less than 10% of the world's raised
Um,
farms nowadays.
I mean,
I mean, yeah, and that makes sense with where our economy's gone. At least here in the United States. I mean, I live all around farmland, so I would assume it was higher than 10%, but I
and
mean,
Ireland's still pretty much farmland, thankfully.
farmland's pretty. It smells bad sometimes, but it's pretty.
I mean, there's a reason we're called the Emerald Isle.
Yep.
FD again with the questions. Nice. What are some things that young men do that you think would make them a bad spouse? Do you mean FD
Good one.
in the sense that
Go grandma.
it would actually make them a bad spouse, or things that would put off potential wives?
What do you think? What are some things that young men do that you think would make them a bad spouse? Okay, I had to like triple read that. I'm getting really tired. Is what that means.
Yeah, that's what I say. I'm not been on much longer myself either. So
as far as like things that would make them a bad spouse, I would say not having self-control. So like if they lack the ability to, for example, we can use alcohol. Alcohol is a pretty simple example. If they lack the self-control to say, hey, I shouldn't drink that next, glass of whatever. I don't drink, so I'm not good with this example. I'm sorry. But if they can't like control themselves, prevent themselves from getting drunk, then that's a big, big sign of like lack of discipline and lack of self-control. And that is a recipe for disaster, especially when you're including other people in your life. It'll not having self-control will destroy your life. But if you got other people in your life, like a wife, kids, family, grandparents, mother, father, everyone, you can tear them down and destroy them just as much as you're destroying yourself.
okay, so he clarified and said things that would actually make them a bad spouse.
Washing by hand is not an extinct art. I don't have a dishwasher. I'm stuck with it.
Sure. There's so many.
Number one skill, everyone needs to know how to use an espresso machine. I don't drink coffee. I'm okay.
Kid, you're so behind in the comments, bro.
I'm catching up. Don't worry. French press.
Oh goodness, like,
or just how to make coffee in general. I know how to make coffee. Don't like it, but
there's something wrong with you for that. But there's so many things, FD, that I could say. Like, I'm trying to pick things that I think are not just that are a given, because like, Gabe, you named a really good one there, because like if you apply that, you use the example drinking, but like if we also apply that to like lust,
money.
if they can't control themselves with lust, maybe they overeat, they can't control the amount of food they intake. Those are all things that will impact a marriage, but those to me are like standard things. Like, I think that's most people would know that. I'm trying to think of things that would make you a bad spouse that I don't think a lot of people necessarily think about. And
well, I mean, I think my top one still stays with the whole, having self-control.
oh, it
Because
does.
that's where when I've seen most divorces or like most failed marriages, it's usually stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it'll usually be, and it goes to women also, but it'll be like, uh, you know, not like gets drunk, shows up home drunk, gets addicted to drugs, stuff like that. Like, and are those necessarily like, is someone just because he gets drunk once or a couple times, does that mean that that's grounds for divorce? No, not necessarily.
Hmm.
But I mean, like, still, that's like how you wreck your marriage and wreck the relationships around you. And I think it is such a general thing and such a broad thing, but yet it is still like the number one reason why people are getting divorced. Like you go to the now I am very opposed to divorce, and I don't think money is at all a reason to get divorced. But you look at like the number one reason for divorce in the United States, and it is usually, he's not making enough money,
Hmm.
right? Or he doesn't spend money right, or something like that. He's bad at budgeting, and that all falls into self-control. And I think that that's an area where, especially nowadays, I mean, look at the corn industry, and I'm not meaning the farming corn, I mean the other corn.
We're aware.
Okay, I'm making it very clear. Like, look at that. That is an entire industry built on people's inability to control themselves. And well, I think that that speaks for itself as to where our society is at with that. So though yes, it's very general and everyone should know it, it's one that just I don't think people take into
Yeah.
enough consideration.
Which is why the general ones are important. I'm just trying to think though about, because the question is specifically young men. So, like, what are some things though about that young men do that would make them a bad spouse that I think perhaps they're not told often enough, because it's not necessarily the first thing that comes to mind. Um,
Um, ooh,
I
I mean, I
I would
got one, but
say,
it might be a little bit controversial.
well, you can say it now in a second. I would say, again, this may feel like more of a general one, but if you are someone that is prone to jealousy, you need to work on that before you enter a relationship. Because there is such a thing as healthy jealousy. Like, God describes himself as a jealous God. Like, he does not want his people whoring after false gods. He wants his people to be in communion with him. So I think sometimes people think that all forms of jealousy is bad. No, you can have godly jealousy. Like, you should be jealous for your spouse. Like, you don't want her to be, or him, you don't want him or her, to be giving their attention elsewhere. But if you are a jealous person, as in like that person has to be in your pocket 24/7, you need to know where they are, what they're doing, who they're texting. You have an issue there that you need to work on before you enter marriage.
Yeah. And I think, funny enough, Kara actually got mine. That I was gonna say is, you know, a sign that they're going to probably be a bad or a low tier, not level. I don't like level. A low tier spouse
Hmm.
is that they are running around saying, objectifying women and talking down about women.
Hmm.
Like, I think that that's a sign that they have personal growth that they need to undergo.
Mm.
And
You mean to tell me that women don't find it attractive whenever men yell things like "shut up, woman"?
I mean, they might find that one. I'm kidding. No, I'm meaning like I'm not gonna make any personal
Yeah.
remarks, but I mean like when you have those guys who run around going, "All women are whores," and yeah, that's a YouTube safe word, and they all gotta like, they're after bad boys. They don't care about us good boy, like those types of guys. Like it's like no, you're just talking down about women, and you're the reason why women don't want to be around you. And when you finally do find a woman who does want you and like is willing to deal with that, if you can't get over that, that's going and you're just gonna live with it. That's gonna erode away and degrade at your marriage. Now I'm not married, so maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there are some really like raging anti-women men out there, or like, you know, anti, I don't know the good terminology for it, but there are some guys who are in that category and they have like extremely successful marriages. It kind of blinded me a little bit when you did that, and
I
I'm
know.
looking at just the image. I don't know how that happened.
I kind
It's
of
like my
realized.
brain just knew what it was and like reacted, even though it's just a computer monitor. It's not actually
Sending you
reflecting.
subliminal messages.
Indeed.
Yeah. I, there's a ton of stuff, and I know we didn't exactly give them a ton. I just think there's a lot of things, like even outside of like necessarily just bad things. I think a lot of young men need to work on their personal hygiene. Just saying. Um, the other thing too is don't be a mama's boy, because you will inevitably treat your wife like she is your mom. Like she sort of takes care of you. Don't be like that. That'll destroy your marriage for sure. Um, Here's the biggest one, I would say. Male and female both need to learn how to do this. Male and females do not communicate in the same way. So you have to learn how your spouse communicates. Like, one of the biggest causes of arguments in relationships is women will, and this is not me blaming women, I'm just giving an example because I am a man. Women sometimes, whenever they're down about something, have this tendency to not want to talk about it, but yet the man can clearly tell something's wrong, so he'll keep asking what's wrong, because it's in the man's nature to want to know the problem, to fix the problem. But what a lot of females, at least from what they've told me, they actually just want to sit and think about the problem for a while and mull over it and, quote unquote, feel the problem. That's foreign to a man. So, like, we will see a woman, and I'll not use the word complaining, but, they'll be mentioning the problem, and the man's like, well, you didn't want my solution, so I don't know what the issue is. But then whenever you flip that round the other way, then there is the other situation. Men, whenever they're dealing with a problem, they don't want to talk about it full stop. They would rather deal with it themselves first, and then, and only then, they may consider talking about it. As where it's in the woman's nature to want to find out what the issue is. So again, you need to learn how to communicate properly with each other, and sometimes that is just as simple as saying, "Look, I don't want to talk about this right now, and when I'm ready to process it, I'll speak to you about it." But yeah, sometimes I think communication is a big one. Um, Tony's having a conversation here about grain.
No. I think that's a question for us. Corn or grain? NIV versus NIV
Well,
UK.
I well, maybe it is a question, but I just figured that he was referencing your corn.
Oh no, I thought he was asking us a question on whether we preferred corn or grain.
I don't know. Maybe it is an actual question. I just thought he was referencing your corn statement.
I'm
Corn or
going for
grain?
grain.
NIV versus NIV UK. Mark 2:23. He says, one Sabbath, Jesus was going through the grain fields. As his disciples walked along, they began to pick some heads of grain. Mark 2:23 versus ears of corn.
Yep. I'm going for grain.
I would say
personally like
grain.
grain.
Yeah,
It also makes more cultural sense given
yeah. Like corn
Near
wasn't
Eastern.
corn wasn't a thing there. So grain. I don't think corn is
Wasn't
necessarily,
a thing there?
as in, like, that's not what they necessarily grew in the fields.
Yeah. That's kind of where I would have gone with it. But
But that's what I meant. But like, it's not a thing there. I didn't mean that it didn't exist. I mean, like, it's not something they grew in the fields. So
okay.
um,
Sounds So I'm like, corn is just a
Lady
giant
Cara
grass.
says, not what is said, but how it's said. Yeah, that's something I hear repeated a lot, but I agree with it. I'm just saying sometimes things come out the way they come out. And if I'm tired and I've had a bad day and I've said I don't want to speak about something and it continues on, sometimes I do get cranky. But just saying. Saley says skill of listening. Uh,
Indeed.
Caregiver versus provider is a huge dynamic. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very, very true. Top five painters. Oof,
I would hate to break it to you, but I don't have top 5 painters.
yeah, like
My number one favorite painter is my mom, and that's because she's the only one that paints things that I at all care about. So,
yeah, and I hate to give you the generic answer, but like he's one of the only painters I really know or care about, and that's Van Gogh or Van Gogh or whatever way you pronounce it.
there you go.
Um, Sadie says, yeah, corn is native to the Americans. Yeah, it's been found elsewhere too, though. But Sadie, it's more just what I was saying is like they definitely did not grow it there, so agriculturally it wouldn't have been. Um, yep, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some of the best painters in the world.
Mm.
Um, yes, you do. I know you're a fan of this. And again, I know a lot of people would just say, "Oh, you're choosing generic," but I genuinely do love Starry Night. Um, Not just because it's it's the most known painting. I just genuinely do quite like it. Um, Most of us in England would refer to those fields as cornfields rather than grain fields, hence the NIV UK difference. Yep, that's why I
Is
said it's not necessarily wrong because the choice there is just communicating the idea to you. But again, I would personally just go grain.
but why though? Like, do you guys just call grain corn, or like is it like a synonymous thing, or I'm curious now.
Probably because they just grow corn.
Then why would they call
Um,
grain corn?
I got to see the exhibit that they were touring. Oh, sorry, that's a question. Or not a question, a statement the frog did. Steve Kozar is my favorite painter.
Hmm,
I
I've
have
never
no
heard of him.
idea who that is, but there's a guy on YouTube called something Kozar, and he does a YouTube series on Christian stuff.
Hmm.
That's not to me. Ah, okay, and that's back to the reference and off the stuff. Hmm. Hmm. Right, folks. Well, we're probably going to hop off here in a couple of minutes, but thank you very much for dropping in. We're not leaving just yet, but thank you for dropping in. The chat has been nice and lively, especially because I haven't been active in a while. However, I'm going to try and get back to regular streams very, very soon. I'm just going to give my meds a couple of more days to kick in and a little bit more rest. Then hopefully my brain won't feel as cloudy and we can get back to streams. And Gabe and I will do a call in stream where we start to take on all comers. So that'll be
Hmm,
exciting. But if you have
indeed.
any other questions that you want to put in, please feel free.
Wheat fields, cornfields.
Also, Gabe, what about your YouTube channel?
Hmm.
If people are here, they can go subscribe to you.
Oh yeah, you guys can find me. It's at GabeZD over on YouTube and
I think
everywhere except for Threads. As far as content that's coming out, I have just been so behind the game as far as like putting anything together because, well, admittedly, I already said at the very beginning of the stream for those who just are getting here, or for those who watch this after the stream and just skim through the video, uh, I just have a very busy life right now, and I got other things I have to work on and focus on. So,
Mhm.
got a
But there,
house
there will
house
be
stuff.
content to come on though, Gabe.
Yes, there will be content coming. Don't worry.
Good, good.
I've got a few music videos planned for me to perform and do with Mr. Isaiah Presley Lafone. one of
Mhm.
these days, whenever he finds his way in Ohio, but we'll work that out when that happens. So
Mhm.
there's a minimum that is on the books going to happen.
Yep. Yep.
Otherwise, I'll probably do my own little live streams where I just probably
Chill and
not live streams. I think I'm just gonna stick with videos, and I'm just gonna have some videos where I'm railing against the
no, do live
Muslims.
streams as well where you can game and chat.
Well, yeah, but my thing is, I've been like I'll be blunt with you. I have like 12 videos recorded, or 12 videos worth of like footage recorded. I just haven't edited any of it. And all of it is just me going through my threads posts back and forth with Muslims. So all that stuff I send you like privately, basically videos on that. And you know,
Yeah.
now will any of it see the light of day?
Well, you'll be live streaming over
We'll
here
see.
with me, so that'll be
Yep.
fine. We, we,
I'll,
we
I'll
can
be there
do
with you.
we can do plenty of apologetic stuff there.
Indeed.
Speaking of that, me and Gabe are not going to drop the information just yet, but we are working on a project that will help people grow in learning apologetics. So if you want to know how to share the faith better with Muslims, atheists, Hindus, Sikhs, whatever, we will be putting together a little thing to help you do that and providing resources. So you've got that to look forward to. As for the rest of it, you can check me out on X. Substack is where you will find the majority of my work. If you're interested, I do have a book on the first book of Psalms. It's a little devotional book to help you get into the routine of praying through the Psalms and seeing Christ in them. You can check that out on Amazon. I also have a forward and an apologetics guide attached to G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy. You can also find that on Amazon. So those are two books of mine. And again, you will see a lot more content coming in the future, Lord willing. And I would ask that you guys please pray for me that I can get back to relatively good health to continue doing streams and get ideas for videos. Because right now, the very idea of doing a video is like torture because my brain just it's not there, Gabe. It's just not there.
All right. Well,
And folks, please remember Leslie did ask us to pray for her mother.
indeed.
She's in the ICU. So we will be praying for that, obviously off stream as well, Leslie. We didn't pray on stream, but we will. All right, mate. Sorry, my dog's getting restless because he heard me say the R word. But Leslie, rest assured, we will be praying for your mother and your father and your sister and yourself.
Indeed.
So, but anyway, folks, thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for all the questions. FD, I'm sorry we did not get to your 5 musical artists, but we'll maybe get to that next stream. But anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for joining in. And folks, if you haven't liked the stream already, please do like it. It actually helps YouTube boost the video. So please do like it. It's free to you and it really does help. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lady Cara. Appreciate it. Thank you all. Good night and God bless.
Good night, guys. God bless.